Ahoy there, listeners, and welcome to the Captain's Horror Meltdown. My name is Cammie, and as always, I will be your captain on this journey, and I'm joined, as ever...
Wait, what's it going to be?
By... what's it going to be? Well, I don't know if it's an actual official title on a boat.
You said this a few times.
Yeah, I know, but on our last side mission, I noticed that we had a slightly rusty rudder.
Oh, God.
So you've been down... You've been down there, sanding the rudder down, and just giving it a bit of a lick of paint.
Right.
The rudder and the propeller.
So I've been down your rusty rudder. That's what you're trying to tell me.
You have.
Right.
You've been certainly my rusty rudder. And it's been great. So yeah, so I don't think I even said your name. So yeah, it's John, the rusty rudder rubber.
Lovely.
So here we are, Captain's Horror Meltdown. If you've not joined us before, then you've probably switched off it. Actually, we are lifelong pals. We are on a horror journey together. We've been horror fans forever, and we're just off on a little meander through the world of horror.
Indeed.
Each film will be following. We're sort of following the layout of the chain, which is each film has to be linked somehow.
Yep.
And so here we are today. We are on to, if it is your first episode, what an episode to walk into. we're on to, well, our last film
on the chain.
Last film on the chain.
Yep.
We're not counting side missions. Very confusing. We like to keep things confusing.
We do.
Our last film on the chain was Fright Night.
Yep.
1985. Fantastic. We both loved it.
Yep.
I think. I can't remember.
Yeah. No. I think that's pretty sure. Unless something weird. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So this time when we're thinking about the chain, what we're going to do, what's our link going to be? Our link was going to be vampires. Obviously vampires in Fright Night.
Yep.
So we have gone for I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle from 1990.
It's a hell of a leap.
It's a crazy leap.
It is.
We've gone from mainstream, well, not mainstream, but we've gone from American, like, slick, high production values to British TV production values
at best
in one fell swoop.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest. If we haven't lost listeners by now, this could be it. This will be the episode, I would imagine.
Oh well, you never know. I mean, we might have some vampire fans here, and we might have some vampire fans who are also motorbike fans.
Yeah, and who probably are both fans of those things, and that they both enjoy them, so they will fucking hate this film.
No, of course they won't. In fact, a lot of people might not have even heard of this film.
I suspect that is massively true.
That's probably true. We might. Do you know? I reckon we'll get our biggest wave of new listeners from Boon fans.
That undercurrent sect of Boon fans. You've mentioned Boon, or you're going to have to explain what's happening here.
I will. But I think will we leave that until we get into the actual film? That makes
sense.
Yeah, right. So, shall we just get started then?
I guess, unless you've done anything wild this week.
I've not, no, but I will tell you something. Mm-hmm. As always, my notes are a fucking shambles.
I actually made some this time, so that's a start.
I made some, but I made them in the dark.
Yep.
And I've just opened them up for the first time, like 5 minutes ago. Absolutely incomprehensible nonsense.
Yeah, mine get worse as it goes on. Obviously, the more whiskey I was drinking.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that. I'll let you into a little sexy secret.
Yeah,
is that I watched the entire film in just my pants.
Oh, that is lovely. Drinking cider?
No. I was on a sort of a little delicate IPA and whiskey trip. But it was lovely. So fucking hot yesterday, and I was watching it in my office, which is. It's just a wee room essentially, but fuck me, it was 26 degrees in here. And I was like, but it was sticky, like really sticky.
At least you had the dignity to keep your pants on.
I did. Well, I didn't have the fucking curtains open or anything.
I mean, it was bloody hot yesterday. You need some cool beers to quaff them down. It was actually, I watched this on Monday night. It's Wednesday, we're recording now. It's actually pretty warm on Monday night as well. And I had a couple of small French beers.
Oh,
10 little beers.
Nice.
And a bottle of Weston's aged cider.
Oh, that's quite a nice little one. Yeah.
That was delightful. A true face puncher as well. After that one pint of it, I felt rosy.
Was that are you sure that wasn't just the film?
It might be in the film. Talking about the film.
Yeah,
right. Here we go. Here we go. I bought a vampire motorcycle.
Do you have
1990.
Do you have a synopsis?
I do have a synopsis.
Great.
I'm just gonna bring it up just now. 1990, and here we go. When a motorbike gang kills an occultist, the evil spirit he was summoning inhabits a damaged bike. The bike is then bought and restored, but reveals its true nature when it tries to exact vengeance on the gang and anyone else who gets in its way.
Absolutely fair play.
There you go. And the tagline, most motorcycles run on petrol, this one runs on blood. Yeah. Probably not the best tagline, but does the job.
Yeah. It paints a picture.
So, that's a little synopsis of it. What are your memories of this film, John? What is your background with this?
Now, definitely the last time I saw it would be a VHS, no question about it.
Absolutely, 100%. I may have been with you the last time I saw it.
Yeah, I'm suspecting we have talked about my local video dealer in the past. I'm suspecting it was probably off his shelves.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And obviously, it's called I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle. You're picking that up.
Oh yeah, definitely.
At that age, you're picking that up because this is 19. How old was I? 1990. 13, so probably came out in video when I was 14, 15, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, 91, 92, I'd say, yeah.
Yeah, so, but weird, I was like, when you suggested this, I was like, I know I've watched this probably multiple times, actually. Maybe not loads and loads of times, but definitely more than once. And the only thing I could remember about it was a talking shit.
Well remembered.
Thank you. That's the sort of thing that sticks in the memory, it has to be said.
It does, and there is indeed a talking shit in the film.
There is,
yeah. I think, I was trying to think back in the film as well. I've got very hazy memories of the actual film. It was like watching a completely new film for me, really.
Yeah,
I remembered the cast and all this, but I didn't really remember how it was all tied together or how it looked or anything like that. Definitely on VHS. I think it was actually. Oh God, this is going to be a bit geeky, but I think I remember the tape. It was around the time that they started adding macrovision to tapes, so you couldn't copy them at home.
Right. I remember the little hologram sticker. Yep.
Yeah. But I think that. I'm pretty sure that I somehow either copied it. I don't think I would have bought it. Where the hell would you have bought I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle?
Nowhere.
There's no way it was available for selfie.
No, it would have been an X rental if you ever bought it, I would imagine.
Yeah. So I don't think I bought it because I don't think I had a sleeve either, but I definitely had a copy of it. So I've watched it multiple times as well, probably, but I had no recollection of it. Although, like you say, we were young and it was a long time in the past.
Yeah, it's nigh on 30 years ago.
Yeah, holy shit, that's terrifying, isn't it?
Somewhat, yep.
Oh my God!
So let's just say it was made in 2004.
God,
how much younger would we be if it was still Happy Great? But anyway, yeah, we're not. We're old bastards. So there you go.
We are old bastards. And yeah, I remember enjoying it at the time. But yeah, I'm quite glad I didn't remember much about it because it was like watching it with fresh eyes.
Yeah, absolutely. I was quite nervous about watching it again because it was one of those things. Like, okay, I enjoyed it when I was 13, 14. My abiding memory is a talking shit. So how is this going to pan out for me? And I was pretty nervous about watching it, thinking this is going to be a massive pile of complete bollocks. And in a way it is. But
well, do you know, that is interesting that you say that. I am 100% with you on that. It is a complete pile of bollocks. But I would say a very enjoyable pile of bollocks.
Yeah, well, we enjoy bollocks.
Yeah,
on the screen, just on the screen.
On the screen. Well, who doesn't enjoy a good set of bollocks as well?
Absolutely.
Classic.
Yeah. Shaved, unshaved, whatever. Perfect.
Yeah.
This film is definitely a hairy pair of bollocks, though.
It is definitely a hairy pair of bollocks. So, shall we have a little chat about the actual film itself then?
Yeah, crack on.
Right, I'll tell you what. Right, so I mentioned Boon. I mean, I don't know. We definitely have listeners abroad. They'll be completely flummoxed by this,
as will most other people.
As most other listeners, anyone that's not really our age will probably be flummoxed.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to be older than us probably to get what the crack is. But so. And I picked up some of this. I knew bits of the backstory, but I picked up some of this from the extras on the disc, which we can talk about later anyway. Yeah. But it's actually a pretty interesting tale.
Okay.
The background is I bought a vampire motorcycle. So, TV series in the UK called Boon. Now, after a quick straw poll amongst colleagues today and friends who remembered Boon, nobody actually watched it, but it seemed to be on very regularly. Yeah. It seemed to be quite a popular show.
Had no one actually watched it, or just no one remember it, or
no one really remembered what the hell was going on?
Didn't see it, don't remember it.
Yeah, I mean, my folks didn't watch it, and I don't really remember watching it. I remember watching bits of it.
I remember watching it.
Were you a fan?
I think so, or certainly my dad would have been, so by proxy. Well, yeah.
Well, I sort of had a quick look again at Boon. So Boon was a sort of, what was that, sort of Friday night or weekend evening entertainment,
classic British
drama, classic British sort of drama,
crime comedy,
sort of mix up.
I think possibly slightly more recently Lovejoy,
yes,
even more recently. Oh, what's that BBC series? Murder in...
Oh, Midsummer Murders or whatever.
Midsummer Murders. No, something even more recent than that, but it's because I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, these programs kind of once one finishes, seems like another one sort of takes its place in a slightly new bit. And a sort of people that aren't detectives, there's something going on, we stumble across it, blah, 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 that kind of business. Classic prime
British
time
TV
bollocks for British TV. Yeah,
absolute mint. And so basically the story followed Boon, Ken Boon, I think his name was.
Yep,
which just seems outrageous.
An ex-fireman,
who ends up being a handyman to start with, and then works his way up to private detective, private investigator.
Yep. Whilst owning many businesses along the way, and
sort of aided by various people, just told bit of a shambles. Anyway. So Boon himself is played by Michael Elphick, who's in I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle. One of the other characters in Boon, Rocky, was played by Neil Morrissey, who's the lead in I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle.
It's called Rocky?
And basically, Rocky, apparently, yeah.
What? That's not his fucking name.
Yeah, apparently it was. Rocky Cassidy.
What? Neil Morrissey doesn't play Rocky Cassidy?
Rocky Cassidy.
That's what are you looking at?
Have a look it up.
You're having a fucking laugh.
Have a look.
No, I don't believe you.
Get on your interwebs.
It's not right.
It's true.
No, it's not right.
What is it then? Tell me.
Because he had his nickname that was an amalgamation of his first name and his second name.
What was his?
Now, see, you're fucking throwing me off.
Get Wikipedia. Get IMDb
his name is Noddy, because his name is something like...
No, but that's in I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle.
Oh, right. Oh, all right. Oh my god! This is how easily the world of these films and TVs cross over. Shit. Okay.
Blur into each other.
I'd love to cut that out, but we're not doing it anymore. So we're cracking on.
No editing. So that they're both in. So those two actors were in Boon.
Yeah.
So anyway, the story goes: two editors sitting in the cutting room cutting together Boon, and they're getting a bit bored. Just getting to the end of the season. And they start talking about what horror films they'd like to make, and they decide to actually make a horror film. So they come up with this ridiculous idea about a vampire motorcycle. They then proceed to rope in the cast of Boon to be in it.
Yep.
They get hold of the director, who I don't think was associated with Boon.
I can't wait to talk about him, by the way.
They definitely. But they rope in the location manager. He comes on board, and since the season of Boon is finishing, he just extends the contracts on the locations that they've got long running anyway. So ITV's still paying for the locations, and then they go and shoot I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle on it. Production manager rumbles them at one point, so they offer her a part in it as well. And it's just basically the cast and crew of this TV series decide to shoot like ridiculous B movie in the downtime between series, which is quite bizarre. But also, it just means it's a completely regional horror film set in UK, completely shot in Birmingham.
Absolutely brilliant.
It's absolutely insane.
What a lovely little story.
So that was the background with it. And so directed by Dirk Campbell, who it's the only feature film he's ever directed. I think he was involved in the theatre quite a lot, and since then when I looked up what he does, he
Were you surprised?
has directed Way Below and In the Night Garden.
So, but if you're not familiar with those, or you don't have children, he is.
If you don't have children, I hope you're not familiar with them.
Children's, and I mean young children's, TV director.
Preschool.
We're talking Moon and Me, which is quite recent, which is sort of like a shonky puppet-based thing. The Worst Witch. 5 episodes of My Pet Saurus.
Oh, My Pet Saurus, that sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Rockets Island, with a classic episode, Izzy Wizzy and the Weeping Oak. Tales of Friendship with Winnie the Pooh. Absolute insanity.
But I'll tell you what, he's pulled it out of the bag with this one, I think.
Well, this is the first thing he pulled out of the bag, and then it was
then he went on to Kids TV.
I wonder what he's going to do next. Oh fuck! Okay.
Do you think he had a really, really, really bad experience making it or something? He decided to go straight to Kids TV.
He seems like I want to do some research on this guy, like some real in-depth. Like I might actually hire a Boon private investigator type, just like how this guy transitioned from like that to this. What the living fuck? It's insanity.
God. So basically that's how the film came to be, and Dirk Campbell directed it.
Wow.
So the basic gist of the film is, film starts, well, as always, there's going to be spoilers here. Spoilers say. So the film kicks off with a motorcycle gang performing a satanic ritual on a waste ground somewhere in Birmingham. Rival motorbike gang turns up, launches an all-out attack on them. A lovely touch that one of the attacking bikers always has his glasses on.
Yeah.
Which just seems so unbikery. It's unbelievable. So they turn up and actually just straight up murder the whole.
Oh yeah, it's like a
satanic gang.
It's a proper. It's a proper turf warfare number. Yeah, mate.
Yep, and as it said in that synopsis, the evil spirit that they were summoning inhabits
by the means of a terrible digital effect.
Oh yeah, terrible but great at the same time.
It's perfect. Yeah, it is.
Like completely, it's almost like a sort of hand-drawn cartoon on the screen.
Yeah, it's like someone's cut out something out of the Space Invaders original game and like stuck it on the screen.
Oh, totally. I mean, we're talking years after, Ghostbusters trailblazed with ILM special effects and stuff, and the technology in the UK could muster up about 3 seconds of really comical demon, and then basically what happens after that is the bike, as mentioned, basically is seeking vengeance.
It is, yeah.
It's an evil bike and it's out to get the other gang. And then what happens is, Neil Morrissey and Amanda Noor are a couple. They run a motorbike courier company, and Noddy, here you go, John, Noddy.
No, he's not Noddy in this.
He's called Noddy in this. He's called Noddy in I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle. He's called Rocky in Boon.
Fuck, I'm getting right confused.
Totally confused. Noddy buys the motorbike. I quite like the running gag with Noddy and his how much he paid for the bike.
Yeah, it's quite nice because it rings true for a lot of things in our lives, I think, I would imagine.
Absolutely. He's told his missus that he has spent 600 quid. He's actually spent 1,100 quid or something like that, I think. But yeah, an old Norton Commando which is possessed.
It's a nice looking bike. I'm not into bikes, but it's quite cool looking.
Oh, it's a real beaut. Quite a retro bike as well, I think, even then. And yeah, basically he's become the owner of this bike, and the bike runs on blood and gets its blood just by killing people.
Yep, which it goes out at night and hunts its victims. What I really like, they've really gone for the full vampire aspect, and the bike can't go out in daylight.
Can't go out in daylight. It's scared of crosses.
Scared of garlic and crosses.
Yeah.
So I was like, for some reason, I was like, the film's so stupid, but that seemed clever.
But the thing that got me though as well is that surely they were trying to summon the devil, not a vampire.
Yeah, very weird. Yeah,
it's pretty confused, but it kind of works in it. Actually, that's kind of absolute
I think
nonsense.
You have to chuck your brain in the bin for this one. There's no question about it.
Absolutely, you just have to. Well, basically, what you need to do is open a few cold ones.
Yeah. Drink them first and then have more cold ones ready when you start watching it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Just keep drinking solidly the whole way through. Yeah. So basically the film follows the adventures of Noddy and his girlfriend while they basically try and work out what the hell's going on, and they get into loads of scrapes. The bike kills loads of people, and the cops get involved, played by Michael Elphick.
Yep, he's the lead investigator.
He's the lead investigator.
Smells heavily of garlic.
It smells heavily of garlic, and a very strong comedy turn from him. And probably in quite an amazing sort of a coup, the director, Dirk Campbell, actually knew Anthony Daniels of C-3PO fame.
Absolutely mental.
From his theatre days. Now, Anthony Daniels hasn't been in a lot of non-Star Wars films. I suppose he hasn't probably needed to.
No, absolutely.
He was talked into playing a motorbike riding priest who helps fight the demon bike.
It's great. It's a lovely turn. You know, it really is.
He's brilliant in it. Absolutely brilliant in it.
Not according to the review I saw. No, the fact it was the first review I read on IMDb. Well, they're not happy with him.
Oh, aren't they?
No, they're not happy with the film at all. It's a full 1 out of 10. And I was like, oh, you've just missed the point, mate.
God, I mean, I think basically for us, I mean, it's interesting. I was having a brief look over the reviews on Letterboxd, and I can see I think lots of people have been sort of like drawn to it by the title, and then have watched it, and they're either not from the UK, so they've got
no idea what's going
just,
on.
Totally confused what the hell's going on, or they're actually quite young and they're just like, what the fuck is this piece of shit?
Yeah,
I think it's a sort of like the tail end of a sort of dying breed of like sort of homemade British horror efforts, like sort of very, very, you know, it does sort of hark back to just that very sort of suburban normality that's kicking about in it, that just is like such a weird setting for a horror film that used to get quite a lot with, you know, with a lot of British films were just sort of set in normal towns in the UK.
It's like a slice of life with some weirdness added in.
That's weird. And the thing that gets me in it as well, it's shot in 1990. It could as well be shot in the 1960s.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it looks
it's unbelievable.
So, I mean, when I think of 1990, I don't think of it as being particularly old-fashioned, but when you start looking at the cars that were on the road and the vans that were on the streets and stuff, you're like, holy shit. It's like, fucking, how far behind like America and stuff were we back then?
Oh, massively, absolutely massively. It's just it's frightening to watch. Like, it's like it makes you feel fucking ancient.
Yeah, totally. It really does. It does. And just so completely set in suburban Birmingham as well.
Yeah, wild. Always an interesting one. So
what did you? So we've kind of touched on some of the actors and stuff in it. Is there? What do you make of the cast in this one then? So, well, Neil Morrissey is more famous for Men Behaving Badly over here.
That's really,
which I guess is probably an international thing. I'm sure Americans will have seen Men Behaving Badly.
I guess they will. I'm sure it will have. Or I've got a feeling it might have been remade a few times.
They might have remade it.
I think they have. I actually really enjoy him in Men Behaving Badly. It's one of those programs that if I'm just, you know, if it's like 11:30 at night and I'm skipping through channels, I don't want to go to bed yet, and that pops up, I'll fucking watch it. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, you've got to watch it. You're going to watch it.
It was that, you know, his character was initially Harry Enfield as well. Harry Enfield was in the first series, I think.
I forgot about that.
And I don't know what happened, but yeah, Neil Morrissey is far better in that part because he just suits it better. But so he's like a really, I mean, in the UK, he's a hugely recognised actor of our generation. So,
yeah, definitely.
So it's just amazing to see him in this kind of.
It's a low budget.
But the thing is, he's always he's still kind of. He has actually kind of playing that men behaving badly part. You know, very much so. I mean, there's some outrageous sexist humour in this film.
Oh, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of sexist humour in it as well. But on a very, very old-fashioned British way.
In the
sort
you can get away with
Benny
it.
Hill, the sort of Benny Hill tradition sort of thing, isn't it? Really?
I mean, I honestly, I mean, I've got to, you know, as I messaged you last night, I had to admit I actually laughed out loud at this horrendous part, really, where he, like, cups his girlfriend's breasts with his hands, and there's a little bit of conversation, and then he says, "Oh, do you want to move them?" She goes like, "Yes," and he just starts jiggling her tits with his hands. It's like, oh my god.
He also later on off screen actually,
that's great,
dropping the "Have I ever told you how to wear a pair of tits?" No way. Which is actually like horrendously a total classic at school, that one.
Absolutely. Well, you know, that was, you know, simpler times.
So it was simpler times, wasn't it? Simpler times. But he is, I mean, the one thing I'll say for the cast is they're all totally going for it in this.
Oh, they are.
They all look like they're on board.
Yeah.
And they're all having a laugh.
There's not one person there that's like,
themselves.
I wish I wasn't here. They're all absolutely straight into it. And it's, you know, it's really, it is quite joyous to watch. I've got to mean, it's one of those films that's, in full admission, I think I really enjoyed the first hour of it, and
it gets a bit.
I started to sink a little after that.
It's a little bit long.
It's 20. It's not 10-20 minutes too long, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's an hour and 40, something like that, just over an hour and 40.
Yeah,
it should really be a little 80-minute, I'd say.
Yeah, I was like, so when you suggested it, I was like, oh God, I'm quite nervous about this. I was like, it can't be more than an hour and a half, can it? Oh fuck, it is. Jesus.
I know, and there's no real need for that, really. I mean, and then Amanda Noor is his girlfriend. She's great as well.
Hell of a hair.
Hell of a hair.
Yeah.
Proper like tail end of the 80s into the 90s.
Absolutely.
And she was actually Neil Morrissey's wife at the time.
Oh, was she? Okay.
Yeah. I thought she was great in it. She plays the sort of like,
she's actually really she's probably the best person in it, actually.
Yeah, she's great. Totally naturalistic, like you, like as the sort of I don't know, befuddled girlfriend.
Yeah, it's like, you know,
she's just like, oh god,
one of those like
fucking child here.
Good God, oh God, you live with this fucking imbecile.
Totally. Michael Elphick is actually in it less than I remembered.
It's actually more than I remembered.
Is he?
Yeah.
Really?
For some reason, I thought he was just. Like a cameo, but that's just.
But in quite a broad comedy role. I mean, there's no seriousness at all.
Plenty of comedic police brutality thrown into the mix.
Totally. Oh yeah, I mean the police are all
Jesus.
And also, I'll tell you what else I liked in it. I like the ambulance driver.
Yeah.
Where he said, "Oh, where's the head?" He was like, "Oh, they're all under that tarp over there. Take your pick."
Yeah. It was, oh God, that was. Yeah. God. Yeah. Hell of a beheadings.
Well, actually, so we've pretty much covered the cast. Oh no. Anthony Daniels is brilliant in it as well, I think.
He is. I really enjoyed him. You know, he was up for the cup in that one.
Very weird one though. Very weird one here. Burt Kwok, the legendary Burt Kwok, in a non-speaking role, which is emblazoned in what can only be described as a fairly borderline racist joke. But what, I couldn't believe it. Burt Kwok there on the screen. No, anyway,
he's there. He's there. There's no question about it.
But talking about the violence, you come to a film called I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle, you expect a bit of blood and guts, don't you? And I think it does a really good job as well. They clearly had no money, and there's some quite nice practical effects. I mean, everything looks like a practical effect.
Well, it's like when the first kill by the vampire motorcycle, you only kind of see the aftermath, and it's Noddy's mate from. It's head in the bag, and it's great. I mean, it's obvious how it's done, and but it's so weird in that scene. Like Noddy walked into this house, and there's like police all over it, and there's blood all over the walls and stuff. And it's like Michael Helfrich, the detective, was like, "Oh, we need to identify the body." So that's not done in a morgue. It's done. It's just on the scene. It's like
in the crime scene.
And he doesn't even lift the sheet. He's like, you lift the sheet and look at this severed head. It's like, fucking hell.
It's in and it's also like there's blood all over the walls and tire tracks all over the walls and over the roof of the room.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely. Like the motorbike's gone tonto and just driven around the room like it was in one of those like sort of walls of death or something like that.
Just got absolutely apeshit. But I really liked that scene, and it was a nice effect. It's one of those like classic head through a mattress and they've put some blood and guts around it and stuff, but it looked really cool.
It looks great. Totally.
And then that kind of leads on to his sort of his little couple of nightmares that he has about.
Oh god!
And then the first one being that he sees his mate's head as a shit in the toilet. Which,
is that the first one or is that the second?
That's the first one. It starts talking to him and then leaps into his mouth.
It's actually, it kind of gave me the poke a bit watching it.
Oh yeah, it's
really fucking disgusting.
Properly grubby.
It's
really grubby.
Really disgusting.
Really grubby.
Totally. It was not nice at all. And then his next dream, he sees his mate's heads talking to him. In the bag. In quite a sort of American World from London style. The sort of like chirpy, like hello, Noddy. Sort of like the corpses that are speaking to Griffin Dunne in the cinema in American World from London.
It was very reminiscent of that, absolutely.
And there's loads of. I mean, the bike sort of ends up sort of morphing.
That's what I did like before. When they actually bury his mate, I really enjoyed the fact the coffin was being carried in the sidecar of a motorcycle.
The sidecar.
Yeah, that was brilliant. That was very cool.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, just like all those scenes like that are just like so played like so like normally. Do you know what I mean? There's no. It's they've just battered out and actually gone through a graveyard doing that, and it just looks mental.
And then you've got that running joke with the old guy,
the old man.
Who gets initially run over and then run over again by a police car. It's typical British madness.
Oh, it's absolutely you don't really get much more British, do you?
No, absolutely. It's like pure kind of like oh we've missed that one. I'll start with. And the best thing is when they get by the police, like they sort of like they avoid the motorcycle that's coming past. Oh, I've pulled you out of the way of that. And then the thing that's got flashing blue lights and a massive siren start pushing them back into the road again. It's like, what? I can gather you couldn't have seen the motorcycle coming that much, because that's another thing. Everything, a lot of these I mean, a lot of the action scenes are quite nicely done, but also a lot of them are done at very slow pace.
A very, very slow pace. A very extremely slow pace. And they're all done in sort of industrial areas of Birmingham in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
So they had complete control over the roads. Great. Absolutely love it. And then, the bike sort of morphs as it goes on. It drinks more blood and it becomes a bit more gallus.
Yeah.
And ends up sort of like having spikes that it can sort of stab people with, and
for anyone outside Glasgow, gallus means full on.
Yeah, totally. Sorry about that. And we get a lovely little scene. Noddy has a couple of run-ins with the biker gang that originally killed other bikers.
The one in the pub is unbelievable.
Phenomenal.
It's just
which includes a strongbow joke.
The strongbow joke is great. I mean, it was like people of our age, the strongbow gag at the start of that scene is fucking amazing.
Totally.
A lot of people were just like, someone's just fired an arrow beside a pint of cider. What does that mean? Go back and check out some Strongbow adverts from the past.
Go check out some Strongbow.
And you'll understand why we laughed at it. But the best thing about that scene is they're in like a pub, pool table, all the rest. and then suddenly they're they go through a door and they're like a medieval banqueting hall. Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Complete with swords on the wall,
yeah,
and then they end up getting into a sword fight with the gang.
Absolutely insane. But
absolutely bonkers. And while that's happening, the motorbike, in a scene that I absolutely loved, the motorbike comes alive and knocks over the rival motorbikes and fucking just sort of fucks him up with his wheel.
Yeah,
mental.
Totally. Absolutely, honestly. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of joy to be found in this film, there's no question about it.
And then, I mean, essentially Noddy works out what's going on and then seeks help. He works out he's got a vampire motorcycle and he seeks help and finds it with he sort of like hooks up with Anthony Daniels' priest and then is on a mission to sort of destroy the bike, which basically takes up the rest of the film, I guess. But yeah, quite a bonkers movie. What other standout points do you have there, John?
What have I got?
Ends up
actually, one of my favourite things is when he and his girlfriend go to the local Chinese.
Yeah, that's the Burke Walk scene, and it's called
the Fu King.
Fu King.
But when you see it on screen, it's just like fucking.
Says fucking. yeah,
fucking Chinese.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the attempted exorcism of the. When Anthony Daniels goes in to try and exorcise the demon from the bike. That's quite a cool little scene.
Oh yeah, it's a great little scene.
I think they probably spent quite a lot of their budget on that, I'd imagine.
Yeah, probably. Somewhat bizarrely, the film ends up, it has quite a long sequence in a hospital.
Yeah.
Then there's a lengthy sequence in a gym.
Yeah, that's great.
Which is like sort of like in a sort of bodybuilders, weightlifters, but just in a sort of very, very British of its time school hall.
Yep, absolutely.
Gym hall, sort of wood panelled, like monkey bars on the side, and just like really bizarre. And the bike sort of driving around, killing these sort of muscle guys.
Yeah, just like
really
limbs flying
bizarre.
all over the shop. It's
bizarre. And Noddy throws the bike. Lifts the bike up and throws it into a canal as well.
Yeah, that's a hell of a weight it's got on them there.
That's wild. Mental. But yeah, I mean, overall, completely joyous. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed watching the film. I'm glad.
Yeah,
we watched it
I
again,
didn't expect to enjoy it. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah,
but I, as I say, I drifted a bit for maybe the last third of it. But yeah. I think I liked it. I liked the soundtrack as well. And the soundtrack was that's what the production manager was saying in that documentary. She was particularly fucked off because she'd paid. So the guy who did the soundtrack for Boon was an American composer that she'd flown over at great expense to do the soundtrack for Boon, and those guys got him to go and fuck off and work on I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle for me. It's just got a really sort of its time soundtrack, which just all really works. I mean, the whole thing really works. The sort of grubby English background all works. It's just like it feels almost like a sort of slight, out of era Hammer horror film or something like that almost. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I agree.
It's got that sort of retro vibe with a good bit of gore. It also other vibes that I was getting from it were, I mean, obviously it sort of harks back to Psychomania and things like that, but I also got a bit of a Peter Jackson vibe. Now, when did Bad Taste come out? Was Bad Taste 85 or was it 87 or something?
I don't know, to be honest, man.
God. But do you know what I mean about that? It's just got a bit of that kind of like, which I guess New Zealand has a touch of that. They must have got a lot of that those sort of UK programmes as well over there, I'd imagine.
I'd imagine so, yeah.
That sort of like touch of that sort of humour about it. That sort of, and a little bit of a touch of the sort of homemade about it as well in the special effects and stuff.
A little bit of a touch.
Well, a lot of a touch. That was great. And I mean, a lot of the bike stuff, I mean, it looks shonky, but it's totally effective for what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched plenty of Grindhouse films and stuff that had shonkier effects in them than this. And the sequences when you see the bike driving itself and all the rest, which they built a lightweight model, like a sort of completely lightweight version of it, replica, so they could just sort of remote control drive it around, are actually pretty effective. It's pretty cool.
Cool. Well, obviously I'll be interested to get into the Blu Ray, which
Yeah,
I'll have to rely on you a lot for reasons I'll go into once we get there.
Yeah. Well, when we start to sum up what we think, actually, I'm just looking at my notes for some of the bullet points I wrote on it, which are just, as I said, increasingly gibberish. But the other thing it reminded me of was Rubber. Did you ever watch Rubber?
I did, yeah.
I
had that kind of vibe about it. Yep.
The tire running around. But other notes that I thought that are I've written, bike is increasingly insane.
Yep, it kind of like grows bits.
Yeah, it just gets more and more bold, doesn't it? And also, did you notice at the end, in the funeral parlour, the funeral home was Death and Sons Funeral Parlour?
No, I didn't see that. I didn't notice that
on the window. Yeah, and also I think it's worth noting that at the end, we said that the motorbike is scared of sunlight. They end up killing the motorbike with a sunbed.
Oh, you've given away the film. Usually I try not to do that. Give away the end, but you've just done that.
Can you put a bleep in it? Can you bleep out what I said? They kill the
everything
bike with a...
I could just bleep out everything you've said.
That'd be quite fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It'd probably be better than just listening to me actually whittling on.
Absolutely. Well, I imagine our listenership would probably rocket.
Yeah. I mean, well, I think
I'm going to leave it in. I don't care.
Okay, yeah, do it. A little bit of summing up, I think. Then.
Yes.
I went into the film worried about watching it again. I was like, I've got weirdly fond memories considering I remember nothing about the film. I think I thought that I used to like it, remembered nothing about it at all, and was very pleasantly surprised. It's definitely not going to be for everyone. If you like a bit of comedy horror, if you're happy for a bit of cheesy horror, you're not looking for anything too serious, it's definitely worth a look. I think it will be pretty alien to anyone that's not from the UK.
Yeah.
We've sort of grown up in the UK having such sort of strong influence with American culture that we're just completely at home watching American films. It's like we just completely accept everything that's going on in them. But I think in this is like although I will say that if you're a fan of American Werewolf in London and the Englishness of that, then you will probably you'll probably get a kick out.
You'll find something to like.
Motorcycle again.
Yep.
And I mean, I would say it's definitely worth a watch. And I'm going to give it one thumb up.
Yeah, I think you've summed up as well as I could, to be honest. I think you're right. There's so many little British comedy moments that it might, if you're not for a certain age, even you're in Britain, if you're not for a certain age, you won't get them. But yeah, I'd probably go with you. I pretty much exactly almost everything you've said. It's completely worth a watch, and I will give it a solitary thumb.
Nice. Well, the maximum we can really give it is 2 thumbs up, isn't it?
It is. That's pretty good going.
Although our rating system is pretty shocking.
Yes, and it probably differs from episode to episode.
It definitely does. But I think we can both safely say that we'd recommend it, though.
Yeah, I think give it a watch, and importantly, which will be coming up in our next section, it is on Amazon Prime, certainly in the UK. So no excuse. A Prime member, no excuse.
Yeah, exactly. If you're a Prime member, you can get it watched on there. Magic. Well, with that said, shall we move on to our next feature?
Yes, but which is? Could I politely request I go for a wee?
Yes, go for a wee.
Oh, thanks very much, Captain.
You're welcome. You're excused.
I'm trapped. That's better. I'm just going to whiz into a ball, I think. Okay, I'm back. That was disturbing. I actually had to cut my piss off because the bottle got too full.
Oh, God. Is it too light to piss outside at the minute?
Actually, no. That was a mistake.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, Blu Ray review.
Woo, Blue! It's the Blu Ray reviews, yeah. Blue! It's the Blu Ray reviews, yeah. Blue! It's the Blu
Blu-ray. Now you've got a bit of a story here, John, don't you?
A bit of a story of woe, to be honest.
It's a sad tale.
It is a little bit. Yes, I ordered my second-hand Blu-ray through my normal trusted supplier of CEX, Computer Exchange here in the UK. I put it in, and the menu screen came up for a split second, and then it died. I was like, oh, what the fuck? And then I thought, did it again, obviously multiple tries, nothing. Thought, then took it upstairs, didn't even get into Blu-ray in the living room, and it didn't even get that far.
Shit.
So on the flip side, I emailed CX and said, I've got the weird thing was that there's not a mark on the disc at all. It's pristine.
Oh, really?
Absolutely pristine.
Right.
So I emailed them and said, I don't know what's going on with this disc. They said, well, take it into your local store. They'll test it for you, and if it's not working, then we'll give you a refund. So I went to the one in literally about a 10-minute walk from me today.
Tense? Was it a tense moment?
A touch.
Were you worried?
Not really. I hadn't like paid 90 quid for anything, so I was just like, it's just you know.
Well, no, but you know that whole thing where you're like, oh well, yeah, it's fucked, and then you're like, oh, I remember doing it with VHS tapes before. And then you go into a video shop and they'd be like, oh, the tape's fucked, and you're like, no, it's not. It's totally fine. And they put it in their machine and it's fucked, and you're like, what? It was totally fine when I left the house.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I took it in there and they played on the system. Well, they tried to play on the system, but it was deed. So, you know, amazing customer service. To be honest, it wasn't like return it to us from where you, because they send it. I think it was sent from some other store somewhere in the UK.
Yeah.
But I took it to the local store. I was like, yep, doesn't work here either. So there's your £8
money
back.
Nice.
But it was weird. There's not a mark on the disc at all. Very strange.
Shit.
So I am
maybe just a faulty disc.
Essentially relying on you for this.
Well, no, that's absolutely fine. There's no problem at all with that. Did you? But you watched. So you watched it on streaming.
Yep, I watched it as I mentioned Amazon Prime as I just then because thank God it was on there. Otherwise, this could have been a shitstorm.
Well, what is the what's the streaming like?
Right. Good, I would say.
Good.
Difficult to tell with these films. It's an awfully old film, but what I will say, it is grainy as fuck in a lot of scenes, but the compression doesn't. Usually grain kind of shows up as like quite blocky a lot of the time, and not many instances of that, to be honest. Some of the wider shots were. You could see a bit of kind of compression nastiness because grain is compression's worst nightmare. But I've got to say, fucking fair props to Amazon Prime. It looks almost artifact free.
Man, I somewhat bizarrely on Blu-ray here. The picture on the Blu-ray is actually fantastic.
Right.
It looks great. It doesn't look particularly grainy at any point. I mean, there's no
to
mad
be honest,
grain
the thing is,
like
I don't know where they got the source from. So it was. I'm not saying it was like unwatchable grain, but it was like grainy as I would expect for that kind of film.
I was incredibly surprised at how it came out. When I was watching it, it's like I thought, for sure this was going to be. I mean. We're often quite amazed at the restoration jobs people do on these films. You're like, how many people are actually going to buy this? And actually, I was really surprised at how good the quality was of it. I don't know how much restoration's gone into it. I don't know. I mean, they must have had pretty much well-preserved elements for it. And they've done a really lovely job on releasing it. And they've got there's no Neil Morrissey or anything in any of the interviews, but they've certainly got a lot of the creatives together. They've got a director and the two young editors, the producers of it, together to do lots of stuff on it, and it is also very British, but it's a really, really nice little package. I mean, the sound is I think the sound is just stereo. It's just stereo.
Yeah,
sound.
I was thinking that
DTS, HD.
So the Amazon stream forced me into 7.1.
Right.
I couldn't stop
Force
it.
you into
I couldn't stop it. I
what?
couldn't stop it. It was like, I can't do a source direct or anything. It was just like, I don't even have 7 speakers, for fuck's sake. But it forced me into it. So there was like quite a lot of this sound really just shouldn't be happening. So I'm not very well versed to speak on that.
God, well, I mean, I'd say, well, yeah, the sound's totally serviceable, totally fine, and the picture's great for a film of its age and a film of its budget. It looks great, considering a lot of it was shot at night, you know, without much lighting. It's it looks fantastic. Definitely worth a buy if you're a fan. Or if you're just interested in just seeing the film and you like a good clean Blu-ray, then yeah, I'd just say go for it.
Any extras to speak about?
There are, yes, surprisingly.
Okay.
Surprisingly. So there's an audio commentary with the director and the two writers as well, which I didn't have time to delve into. But I actually do quite fancy.
I would actually like to listen to that with you.
Yeah, I would love to listen to it. We should do that sometime. Totally. We should do it, definitely. There's a 40-minute documentary called We Made a Vampire Motorcycle, which is just a retrospective look at how they made the film, and that's where I sort of gleaned a lot of that Boon information from. It's great, and I've interviewed all these people. I mean, like, you know, the old production manager of Boon and stuff like that, sitting there chatting away.
Awesome.
And just sort of speaking to like plenty of the actors and stuff as well. It was well worth a watch. I didn't watch the whole of that, but it's definitely worth a watch. I'm going to go back and watch the end of it, really. There's a little mini, a couple of, everything else is quite short in it, but all well worth a watch just for something interesting. The Vampire's Lair is them looking at the prop motorbike now, basically digging it out of the director's shed,
right,
and getting it out to have a look at what state it's in now. And they're just sort of so it's the two producers, so Michael Miller and John Walsecki, Walsco, and Dirk Campbell looking at it. And that's great fun. It's just like 3 or 4 minutes long, something like that. There's a little featurette called Where Are They Now?, which is looking at what the two co-writers and producers are up to now.
Right.
And the joke in it basically is that one of them's a homeless drunk, and he's sitting drinking cans of Old English on a park bench, and the other one is dressed in a tux, and the drunk one is complaining that the other one told him how to invest his money, and he lost all his money in the stock crash of the 90s.
Right.
But it's clearly just a piss take.
Yeah, I like this. I like the idea of that. That sounds good.
And then the final things are a set of TV clips and a trailer. TV clips were for me absolutely fascinating. They are contemporary UK TV clips from the time. So there's a clip from like Central News, which must be the sort of the local news programme from like ITV down there, and they're doing a lot of featurette on the making of I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle. It's all very British, you know. Here they are filming at night on the streets, and there's a motorbike on the loose. There's a programme called a section on it from a programme called First Night, which really takes me back. I mean, I don't remember the programme First Night. It must have been local down there, but it's very in the vein of a lot of sort of quite modern review shows that you got at the time. You know, they'd be talking about, you know, film review shows or whatever, but they'd have like quite a cool young presenter sort of chat away, like, you know, and it's quite interesting. There's then a clip from the James Whale radio show.
Oh right, wow, okay.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Which is mad, absolutely mad, and he's pretending to be Anne Robinson from Points of View. And it ends with them showing the clip, the clip with Neil Morrissey's arse and the shit jumping into his mouth.
Oh God Almighty! Which
is nuts. There's another one from a program called The Works, and then there's a theatrical trailer. So yeah, I mean, there's, you know,
that's a pretty fucking extensive set of extras for this film.
Exactly. I mean, the thing is, like, who would have thought there would be a market for this? 30 years on.
Ugh. unbelievable. Really.
With these extras and stuff as well. Do you know what I mean? It's just a wee treat. Do you know what I mean? I think I bought the disc new for like a tenner or something like that. So I mean, definite value for money, and I would definitely recommend picking it up. I don't know who. I mean, Christ, it's released by a company called Screenbound Pictures. I mean,
no idea.
Who the hell? Well, I mean, no idea. Who the hell that is?
I think we should have to get Cammie and Jon's Blu Rays up and running.
Oh, definitely. We just need to start releasing absolute mints, don't we?
Yeah, totally.
We get away with it.
Maybe make our own mint.
I would say that it's released in the States with the exact same extras except for the TV clips. They're only available in the UK version, I think. So yeah, I definitely thoroughly recommend it. Not an expensive Blu-ray at all. So yeah, give it a watch.
Excellent.
And that's that. So on to our...
Is this even a section?
It's not quite our final section, is it?
Is this even a section?
Well, what did James Furman think?
Yeah, I don't know if she...
It's not a section, is it? I think we should stop it.
I think we should just... Oh, well, we'll just say exactly that nothing happened.
Yeah, nothing happened.
I'm going to put absolutely no theme music into this whatsoever because there's no discussion.
He didn't cut it at all.
No.
And I mean, we're only talking like 5 years after the video and actually scare.
Yep.
He clearly wasn't bothered. To be fair though, there's nothing contentious in it.
It's so ridiculous that...
It's so... I mean, there is... You know, some of the gore is good in it, but it's just never... You can't really ever take it seriously, can you?
No.
And there's nothing titillating, or there's no nudity or sex or anything like that in it. There's not even much bad language, I don't really think.
Not really. Surprisingly not, no.
Yeah, surprisingly. It has been downgraded. The one thing that's happened since the Furman era is it was an 18 when it came into cinema, and it came out in video, and it's now a 15, quite rightly, as well, I'd say.
Yeah.
I mean, it must be... Is it potentially a borderline 12? No, it's a bit gory for that. No. And the shit in the mouth as well, I suppose.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Wonderful. I'll tell you what, though. I think a 12-year-old would enjoy it.
It seemed to be the base sort of audience.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, I suppose we do move on then to our actual final feature. Yeah. What's the name for this? I always forget it, John. What is it?
I'm calling it Love It or List It.
Love It or List It.
Now, unfortunately, I can't put any input into this.
Because you returned to yours.
Yeah, I had to. Well, not even list it, just list it back to the company. But so the basic idea of the feature is: are you going to keep hold of it, or would you think about selling it on?
Well, I'll tell you what. I've just had a lot of think about this just now.
Okay.
I'm trying to clear out all my stuff. I'm trying to clear out loads of rubbish just now. I'm just trying to get rid of stuff. I've been selling a lot of stuff. We've talked about this already on other episodes. You and I both at the same time. We've been just having a bit of a clear out. This is good. I can't even imagine this selling. To tell the truth. And I've no idea how much it'd be worth as a trade-in. Which makes it quite an easy decision for me. I'm just going to love it. I'm going to keep it. I'm just going to keep it. I'm going to keep it on the shelf. I would actually watch it again, definitely. I think I will watch it again sometime.
I agree with you. I mean, I don't have it, obviously, but with the features you've listed there, and I don't think I would get rid of this film, and that's a hell of a recommendation for me, who's someone who's been like selling stuff left, right, and centre. If I had what you've described, I'd be absolutely into it. It's not going anywhere. I
love it, and I'm going to keep hold of it. It's it's good.
Gorgeous.
Definitely. So there you go.
Gorgeous.
That's
oh,
now you're talking. So there you go. That's I bought a vampire motorcycle.
Yeah,
thoroughly enjoyed it. Good crack, and basically, right, John, are we going to do this? We've only vaguely discussed this. What's up next in the chain? Yeah. We might. Who knows? We might have a side mission in between.
We might. Yep. Some of them. Well, most of them take us by surprise. But yes, we don't know. But we've got to, because I'm hankering.
We're going to do it.
I'm hankering.
We're going to do it. Okay. So the link is 1990.
No, it's a strong link, to be honest.
1990. So we're going for another film from 1990. And we're going to go for our first Henenlotter film.
Yes!
Yes. We're going to go Frankenhooker. We're going Frankenhooker. We're going full Frankenhooker.
Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Honestly. Frank Henenlotter is a man I love so deeply.
I can't wait to get some of your Frank Henenlotter chat next time. It's going to be brilliant.
Honestly, it's one of those. I've always quite enjoyed him, but in the last 5 years, I've actually grown to really love him. Just love him as a guy.
Really appreciate him.
Yeah. It's like, wow, these films are fucking tremendous. I mean, I'll try my best not to make every single link after that another Frank Henenlotter film. I can't guarantee anything. Maybe do one more, maybe one more.
It has to be said, we might get on to some kind of weird Henenlotter tip for a while, I think. But it'll be a fun journey.
Yeah, it will be.
Come and join us on that journey.
There is no more fun. If you don't know about Frank Henenlotter, Jesus, get involved.
Yeah. So there you go. Get yourself out there. Pick up some. It was released on Blu Ray in the UK by Arrow.
Actually, that's interesting. I was. Is this our first Arrow film?
It might be. Holy shit!
Because we lost Bird with the Crystal Plumage.
We did lose Bird with the Crystal Plumage.
So this could be, unbelievably, after all these episodes and what we're talking about, our first Arrow-based released.
Yeah.
Ooh,
excellent.
That I did not expect.
I can't wait. I'm very excited about it.
Oh, I can't, honestly, you're gonna have to you will have to restrain me from doing just the Frank Henenlotter podcast. I've
actually quite somewhat bizarrely, I've also got the Dutch Blu-ray of this for the UK and the Dutch Blu-ray. Yeah, so we'll maybe have a little bit of a comparison.
I'd like to see that or hear about it. Certainly.
Brilliant, excellent. Okay, well, thanks for listening, guys. And I'll tell you what. John reminded me earlier. How you can get in touch with us.
Oh yeah.
How can they get in touch with us, John? We have a Facebook page.
We have the Captain's Horror Meltdown on Facebook. There is also a Twitter page, but I don't look at Twitter, so forget about that.
Which is at Horror Meltdown, I think.
Fucking no idea, possibly.
I think it's at Horror Meltdown. I might just take over that account and start doing stuff.
I think you'll have to, because I will never look
I'll
at
do
it
that. I'm on
again.
Twitter. You can find me at DJ Bugenhagen on Twitter.
Or you could email us, which is
email us.
Which is fast becoming the new snail mail. Horror Meltdown Pod at gmail.com.
horrormeltdownpod@gmail.com. So hit us up if you've got any ideas for future chains.
Yeah, totally.
Or anything you'd like us to cover, then hit us up and let us know. Also, if we're just being too annoying and Scottish, then just let us know. Give us some shit. That'd be fine. Alright, thanks a lot for listening, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Thanks, guys.